Today, rather than being outside on a mountaintop, I'm inside here with you, sharing our best adventure wedding photography advice. I'm Brenda Bergering. I'm a professional photographer alongside my husband, Mark. Welcome to our channel, The Bergerings, where we share photography advice, gear reviews, and inspiration on creativity and adventure. Let's get started. The first thing when it comes to adventure wedding photography is that you are the guide. You are the resource. You have to be fit and prepared and have your systems dialed so that you can take your clients on an adventure. Adventure weddings aren't necessarily always about getting married on a mountaintop. Sometimes they're just about having a little extra adventure in the day, and that's what you as a photographer can provide. The adventure part of adventure weddings means that there's a little extra challenge to you as a photographer. You have to have your systems dialed and your gear organized in a way that you can take it with you, whether that's on a hike or at high altitude or in inclement weather. Now understand that there are different levels of adventure when it comes to adventure weddings. Sometimes people want to rock climb the face of a mountain and then get married at the top. Other times people want some epic location that they can drive to and step out of the car in their high heels. So it's important to communicate with your clients and understand what level of adventurers they are so that you can provide the right level of fun. Once you understand their level of fun that they're looking for, the level of adventure that you're looking for, it's important that you educate them. This might mean that you're educating them on what permits that they need to get for the various locations that they're going. You might need to be talking to them about the weather and the wind and what they need to wear in case it rains or snows. You might need to be talking to them about altitude and making sure to hydrate and pack snacks. Sometimes in adventure wedding photos, you see a glamorous couple out on a cliff and you don't realize that the work it takes to get to that. And so you need to educate your clients that they might need a headlamp if we're shooting sunset somewhere that we have to hike back to the car after. One of the things that we do for our couples is we provide them with a little list of how to prepare. And so we'll give them tips on what the weather is going to be in the location and how windy it's going to be and the importance of good footwear. And we talk through the different things that we're concerned about for them. It's also important to educate your clients about location selection. There are rules about various locations and you want to make sure that you're following all the rules wherever you're going to be. You want to make sure that your clients understand leave no trace and protecting the environment that we love to play in. Most of our couples, like us, love nature, love being outside, love being in the wilderness. And so it comes naturally to us that we're going to respect those places, but that's not always the case. Sometimes we get someone that wants to get married in a place that's beautiful and iconic, but they don't necessarily understand the impact on the environment. And so that's part of our job too, is to educate them about that. On that note, Mark and I actually spend a lot of time scouting locations to shoot. We're going in person, we're looking online, we're researching trip reports, we're checking the weather, we're figuring out information like where we're allowed to shoot and where we need a permit for. There's a lot of research involved in knowing where you can do adventure wedding photography and what the limits are around it. And knowing the more you know, the more you can educate your clients to make the right choice on location. In addition, we're always looking for new places to shoot. Some of the iconic places are getting overcrowded. We don't want to be in a location with a bride where there's 5 other brides. That ruins the experience for feeling like you're out in the wild on your own. For some people. Other people just want the iconic location. So again, knowing your client, we're going to come back to that again and again. Next, when it comes to the actual photography, our style of photography is very adventure and landscape based because those are the clients that we have always worked with. Even before adventure weddings were a thing, we were shooting adventurous couples. And some of their weddings were adventure weddings and some of their weddings were in beautiful places. And so we like to have a style of photography that matches what our couples are looking for. Often, somebody looking for an adventure wedding photographer is looking for somebody who can capture the landscape and tell a story of the beautiful place that we're exploring together. And so learning some landscape photography techniques will benefit you. as well learning some adventure photography techniques. How do you tell a story about the experience and the moments that are happening on that adventure? Make sure you check out some of our outdoor photography tips if you need more tips on how to take some nice landscape photos with a couple in them. And as with most styles of photography, it's important to understand light, composition, and moment. Light is really important for us in adventure wedding photography because we want to make sure that we're using light to create a romantic feel in the image. For us, that means we're often shooting at sunrise and sunset. If we're unable to, for whatever reason, then we have to understand how to use the direction of the light in order to still create the mood that our couples are looking for. So once you have the nice light, then you want to work on your composition. You're figuring out how to get that nice landscape composition that tells the story of where you are and who you're with and what you're celebrating. From there, once you have your light and your composition, then you're working the moment. You're waiting for something to happen, or you're creating an experience where something is happening so that you're telling a story. Even though it seems like adventure wedding photography is just about getting one epic photo for Instagram, we want to create an experience. And then we want to create a photo that's going to trigger the memory of that experience. Just like any other wedding photography, it's about the wedding and the marriage and the couple. This just happens to be an adventurous couple, and so you want to tell their story in a way that serves them in this adventurous way of this experience that they've had together. So in summary, make sure that you're the resource and the guide and that you're fit and capable enough to keep up with your clients while also taking their pictures. Then understand that there are various levels of adventure and make sure you know your clients well enough to know what you're getting them into and know what they want to get into. Once you know the level of adventure, it's important to educate your clients about anything that they might need to know. What footwear to wear, how windy it's going to be and how much hairspray they need to use, how cold it is, how much water they need to drink, if they need a headlamp, a backpack, snacks, first aid kit, anything else. Always be scouting locations and finding new locations to shoot your couples so you're not always just shooting the same places that everybody shoots. Study landscape and adventure photography as a style because chances are that that's what your couples are looking for. And then understand light, composition, moment so that you can tell the story of the experience and this adventure that you're helping your couples celebrate. Thanks for stopping by. If you're just getting started building your wedding photography business, I'll put some helpful links below. And make sure to leave your questions in the comments. Subscribe to stay tuned, we have some great content coming up.